Authors using AI. How to ethically use AI when writing. In the last video, I went over briefly some of the do's and don'ts about using AI as an author. I shared with you briefly some of the things you could use it for, and I gave you my personal opinion, what I think about using AI, how you should use it ethically, and how you should not be using it as an author. In this video, I want to demonstrate some of those things that I said that you could use it for, and I'm going to go over just a few things to help you get an idea of how you can start using it. So I'm going to go over to ChatGTP, and we're going to dive in. All right, so I am out on ChatGTP. If you've never used it, this is one that has a free version as well as a paid version. There are a lot of different AI tools out there, so whichever one you want to use, I'm just going to use this one so that I can show it to you. I know a lot of people use it, and like I said, they do have a free version. And you see this box here in the middle, it says Ask Anything. This is where you would type in your question to the AI app. I've already preloaded some things to save a little bit of time, so I'm going to pull one of those up. Okay, so this is the first one I put in. I'll just read to you what I put in there to get the response. I wrote, I would like to write a book about getting out of debt, but I'm not sure how I want to present it. Can you give me 10 topic ideas with a brief description and also title and subtitle ideas to go along with each of those topics? So this is one way an author can use it. You have an idea for a book, and there could maybe be multiple different ways of writing that book, and you're kind of stuck, not really sure, and you just need some ideas. You can come out to ChatGTP or whatever AI device you're using and just tell them what you're thinking about doing, and you need some ideas. And you can feed them as much information as you want to help AI understand this. All right, so when I entered that in and I hit enter, and it came back with, that's a fantastic topic. Debt freedom is such a powerful and needed message, and there are many creative angles you can take depending on your voice and audience. Below are 10 topic ideas along with brief descriptions, plus the title and subtitle suggestions for each one to help you visualize different ways to present your message. Okay, so the first one here says your personal debt freedom journey. Topic, share your own story of getting out of debt, including the emotional and spiritual journey, mistakes, breakthroughs, and practical strategies. Title ideas, broke but not broken. Subtitle, my journey from debt, despair to financial freedom and faith-fueled discipline. The next one, debt and the Christian walk. Topic, explore what the Bible says about money, stewardship, debt, and how faith plays a role in breaking free financially. Title, freedom is the goal. Subtitle, breaking the chains of debt through biblical wisdom and bold faith. And you can see a lot of these have a Christian tone to them. I did not say anything about wanting to write this from a Christian tone. The reason it's doing that is because I have fed this AI so much information, and a lot of it I describe that I'm a coach for Christian nonfiction authors, blah, blah, blah. Or I would like a Christian angle on this, topic, blah, blah, blah. So it knows me. It's getting to know me because I have fed it so much information that it knows that I like things to be Christian oriented. And that's why it's coming back with this without me even asking it. So you can see it's come up with great topics, step-by-step plan to get out of debt, emotional and mental roots of debt, living debt-free as a lifestyle, breaking generational cycles. That would be a really good one. A devotional for debt freedom, debt-free for women, faith-based budgeting for beginners, a conversation-style book with testimonies. Okay, so if you do this and then you find one that you like, here's what you can do. I'm going to just copy this, what I had written down, and paste it in here. And it says, I like number 8. Number 8 is debt-free for women. Can you give me an outline that might be fitting for this book and give a little more detail under each potential chapter on the outline? Hit enter. If you get this arrow, it tells you there's more, so you can click on it. It'll take you down, but I'm going to scroll back up to here. It says, I love that you're leaning into number 8, debt-free for women. This is such an empowering topic, and it opens the door for both practical and emotional healing, especially when addressed from a faith-based perspective. Below is a book outline and the title is She Pays It Off. Subtitle, A Woman's Guide to Overcoming Debt and Owning Her Financial Power. Here's a book overview, and then it's giving you chapters, introduction, why this book, why now. Chapter 1, The Weight We Carry. Subtitle, Understanding the Emotional Baggage of Debt. And then it's got some key points. Talk about how women often carry guilt, shame, and secrecy around money. Explore why women fall into debt, caretaking, financial abuse, people-pleasing. Begin breaking the silence and lifting the shame. Chapter 2, Enough is Enough. So it gave me this outline, gave me a title for each chapter, and even a subtitle if you want a subtitle on your chapter. You don't need to do that. And then three talking points under each one of them. There's a conclusion, bonuses, add-ons, or optional printable worksheets. So it's even giving you some ideas that you can add on to, give added value. A 30-day faith and finance devotional, testimony journal, QR code for online resources. So it's doing a lot of the work for you to help you get ideas. Again, what I would do is, if you like this, let's say, okay, I really do, I want to write this book. I like the idea to write this book for women, how to get out of debt. Now what I might do is think about the title. Do I really want that title? The chapter ideas, I might use some of their chapter ideas, I might not, but I'm certainly going to tweak them. I'm going to change the topics. I'm going to add or subtract to them. Probably change the title. So I want it to be in my own words. And you want your book to sound like you, not like it came from a computer. So you can do this to give you ideas. This is to help you brainstorm. This is to help you get unstuck. And then take what you get from them and run with it and put it into your own words and let your brain come up with even different ideas. And who knows what this could spark. So this is one thing that you can do. Get book ideas, get an outline idea, get chapter ideas, and then go from there and figure out how you want to use, what information you want to use, what you don't, and how you can tweak that then to be your own information, your own words. And you can keep adding on. Like, let's say chapter 9, you're not sure about chapter 9. You could then say, could you please expand a bit more on chapter 9? See what it says. Absolutely. Chapter 9 is a powerful and necessary part of the book, especially because so many women begin their journey to financial freedom with good intentions, but feel discouraged when life throws them off track. This chapter helps normalize setbacks and teaches the reader how to recover with grace and resilience rather than give up. Here's an expanded version of chapter 9, When Life Happens. Okay, so here's the purpose of the chapter. Here's a potential opening story, a scenario. Setbacks are not stop signs. The 3 types of setbacks, how to respond with grace and guilt, and not guilt. Create a bounce back plan. I mean, look at all the information. You have a plethora of information that you can pull from and create your own outline, your own story. But gosh, this just gave me I don't even, in real life, have no intentions of writing a book like this, but it almost makes me want to write a book about this because there's so much information that gives me a jumping point. And now I can do more research, get more data, and so forth to be able to write a book. And what I would really suggest, though, is if you're going to do this, still try to stick to a topic that you have some experience in so that you can share a personal story, or maybe it was a good friend or a family member, that instead of it just being all facts or something like that, you can give some stories to help back this up. Now, here's something else that you can do. You can say, can you find an article or a testimony that backs up the information you have provided for this book topic? And can you please provide the source? So now it's going to look for some information out there, maybe an article, a study, a testimony, something that backs up the information that it gave me. Remember, AI is just pulling information from the entire World Wide Web. It's just pulling everything that it's going out there and searching everything. So if there's a story out there of somebody who got out of debt, they should be able to find it and pull it in. Now, here's like Tracy Schultz overcoming $20,000 in credit card debt. And the source, you see here, real light, it says NBC Boston. If you hover over it, right now it's a light gray, but you hover over it. It tells you it's from NBC Boston, May 12th, 2025. That's the same. So if you go down to this next one, it's from the Herd. It tells you the date and so forth. And I'm going to see if there's anything a little bit older. Forbes. Okay, how a 32-year-old woman paid off $57,000 of debt and blank, 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 from October 1st of 2019. Now, what you can do is before you would use any of these, I would go out to those resources and see if you can find that article and find if it's a true testimony or, a true case study, or if it was just like an advertisement. Because if it's just an advertisement, it doesn't make it true. You want it to be like a case study. If it's a testimony that it actually somebody really gave an interview about what happened, not something that's an advertisement. You always want to verify your information, anything that they give you. So that's something you can say. Give me, find me a testimony, find me an article, find me some case study, something like that, and then ask it for the source. Because you want to be able to, if you're going to use the story in your book, then you want to be able to footnote that or add it to your endnotes so that you are giving credit to that source. All right, that's one example. The next one is I wanted to do a chapter summary. So something that you can do for like your launch team, or if you want to do it as like some sort of a free handout or something like that, is to summarize the chapters of your book. If you're going to use this with your launch team, you can, hopefully they'll read your book, but you can also send along a PDF, which is a summary of each of your chapters in case they don't have a lot of time to read your book. Then you can at least get them summarized. So what I did is I said, I'm attaching a chapter of my book. Can you please give a summary of the chapter? I want to be able to give my launch team a summary of my chapters so they don't have to read the whole book. Here's the chapter. And I pasted it in. The chapter is called God Winks, and then I pasted the whole chapter in here. Hit enter, and this is what it came back with. Here's a chapter summary you can give your launch team for the chapter God Winks. Chapter summary, God Winks. In this heartfelt chapter, the author introduces the idea of God Winks, unexpected personal moments that seem like coincidences, but are really God's way of letting us know He's present. Inspired by a Hallmark movie and the term coined by Squire D. Rushnell, the chapter shares how these small divine signals can bring comfort during life's storms. Through two powerful personal stories, one involving a moment of peace during a walk in the woods, and another centered around a mysterious mustard seed size mark on her wrist, the author illustrates how God lovingly and creatively reassures us of His presence, especially during times of deep distress. The chapter encourages readers to reflect on their own lives and recognize the subtle ways God may have winked at them too. It's a reminder that God's love is constant, even when we feel overwhelmed or alone. I say wow to that. That was a fabulous summary of my chapter. See how short it is, and look up here how long my chapter is? And that one even wasn't a real long chapter, but that really summarizes the chapter quite well. So this is a great tool that you can use to help come up with a summary. And you can go in and you can tweak, how they write this, whatever. But overall, it can help give you an idea of how you could write up a summary yourself. Something else, a lot of times, ChatGPT, or I don't know about other AI, but ChatGPT does, is if you put some information in there, like I might put in here, I'm doing a PowerPoint about such and such. Can you give me some ideas? What are 5 key points I should talk about? And it might even ask you, do you want me to create a PowerPoint for you? I did that. I said yes, and the PowerPoint was not good. It was like all over the place, so I didn't use their PowerPoint. But it also sometimes will ask you, do you want me to create a PDF for you? And I've said yes to that, and boom, it creates a PDF. I can print it out. Really nice. So at the very end, anytime it does something, at the very end, it'll usually give you some prompt. Like this one says, let me know if you'd like me to summarize the rest of the chapters in a similar format. And so what I can do then is I can go get the next chapter, and I could say, yes, I love this. Here's my next chapter. Boom. And then you can just highlight this and say copy and paste it into a Word document. Great tool. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use AI. You can use it for marketing to get ideas. Like if you wanted to put a chapter in there, how could I market this chapter on social media to intrigue buyers or readers to buy my book? See what it comes up with. So it says, okay, you're giving feedback on a new version of ChatGPT. They have two. Sometimes you'll get this. You'll get a response written up one way, and then you'll get a response written up another way. They're trying to get feedback on what style you like better. And so you can just, whenever you get these two, it doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while this will pop up like that, and you can look at it and see which one you want to go with. Like here, share a Godwink teaser reel, 15 to 30 seconds. You're walking through a sunlit forest, cut to a still shot of a bright blue sky with sunbeams, close-up of your wrist with a tiny dot, something like that. Here's a quote, graphic or reel. So you can get ideas for marketing. You can ask specifically, I want to create a trailer for my book. What would be some great things to put in it? Now that you've, summarized my chapters, what would be some great things to put in my trailer? Can you make up 5 social media posts for me? Let's see. I'll say 5 Instagram posts for me based on this chapter. See what it comes up with. All right, so post 1, carousel. What's a Godwink? And for this one, they're saying to use 5 slides, and they're giving you the text that you can use. Here's your slides that you would have. Post number 2, this would be a still image, the eye of the storm. The world around me was falling apart, but I felt peace. Blah, blah, blah. So here it is. It's giving you ideas. There's no end to how you can use AI to help you out with ideas. That is okay to use AI for ideas. It's not okay to let AI write your book for you. I can't stress that enough. There is so much stuff on the market these days. There's just an influx of AI written books on Amazon, and they're very poor quality. They're probably never checked for accuracy. And I'll just share a story. Here's a really good story as to why you need to check accuracy. So I had plugged into ChatGTP that I wanted some naturopathic ways, holistic ways, or whatever that can help me. I think I put in there to help lower my cholesterol. What are some natural foods that I could eat to help lower cholesterol? And it came back with I should eat margarine. And I looked at that and I'm like, are you kidding me? So I wrote this into ChatGTP. Are you kidding me? I asked you for natural foods. Margarine is man-made and it is poison. It's horrible. How could you possibly suggest I eat margarine? And it came back with, I'm so sorry, you're right, I overlooked that, whatever. So it was really funny. I got an apology from ChatGTP for suggesting I should eat margarine. But that just goes to show it's pulling information that's out on the web, and that information can be old. Way back when we were told margarine was better than butter. Well, we now know that that's not true. And it's pulling this information from anything that's been out there that's still out there. So there's a lot of old information out on the World Wide Web that probably should be taken down. And it's just pulling from that information. And that's why you always need to verify anything that AI gives you, because it's just pulling, it could be garbage in, garbage out. It doesn't know. It's just pulling from those sources. So verify, verify, verify. I can't stress that enough, because the last thing you want is to add something to your book that you got from AI only to find out some reader leaves a review for you that says, this is totally wrong information. There's no truth to this. You don't want that happening to you. So always verify what it gives you. Play around with it. Like I said, there's no end to what you can ask AI. I have stumped it on occasion, but you just got to work through it. And the best thing with AI is to just keep asking. If you don't like the answer it gave you, just say, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Can you refine this? I really want you to do it from this angle, or whatever. You got to train it and constantly, just keep asking, keep having it tweak, because sometimes it's stuck and it just doesn't understand what you're asking it, and you have to word it differently. You can also tell AI, okay, I want you to pretend like you are a marketing agent who's going to be giving me, who's my marketing agent, who's going to give me a plan of my marketing for the next 30 days. And then, I want you to include blah, 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 whatever. So you can also ask it to pretend it's a whatever. I want you to act like you're a traditional publisher, and here's my manuscript, and I want you to give me feedback on it. So whatever it is, you can also have it pretend it is something, whatever. I want you to pretend you're a teacher. I want you to pretend you're a doctor. I want you to pretend you're a stockbroker, whatever it is, because then it's going to write from that angle. So have fun with it. The bottom line is it's a great tool for you to use just to find more information, to use as a research tool, to help give you ideas, help you to get unstuck. It is not a tool to be used in place of you. In other words, it is not to be writing your book for you. So have fun with it, use it. Like I said, it's a great tool, so try it out, play around with it, and see what you can come up with. Be creative, think outside the box, and just have fun with it. You're going to get all kinds of great responses back. That's my take on AI. it's, however you feel about it, this is my take as far as an author and how an author should ethically use AI to help them write their book.